Hello from the small window on your screen. This is Adam Turtletaub from the Society of Corporate Compliance and Ethics. I'm very happy to be joined today by Marianne Jennings, noted ethicist, who will be speaking at the 2014 Compliance and Ethics Institute, which will be taking place in Chicago from September 14 through 17. Marianne, thank you so much for joining us from your son's borrowed bedroom via Skype and for joining us in Chicago. Let's dive right in. When it comes to ethics, I mean, one of the issues people have is it's often uncomfortable for them to raise these issues, difficult to discuss. What are you finding from your work?
Well, when people talk about these things, they try and use different language so it doesn't seem as bad. You know, I always used to say with my kids, when you download music from the internet that's copyrighted and you don't pay for it, that's copyright infringement. And they would come back and say, no, Mom, that's peer-to-peer file sharing. And so they look at it differently. And then in business, they'll say, okay, well, you're kind of cooking the books there. And they will say, oh, no, that's financial engineering. That's smoothing the earnings.
Aggressive tax strategy.
Yes, this is not really a problem. So they do things that way. So they use a softer language because then it's easier for them to not have to say anything and it doesn't seem as bad to them.
Interesting, yeah. It's a common stuff. How we describe things allows us to put them in more comfortable boxes.
I didn't lie. I misremembered. That's the way we
Those kinds of things.
That's the way we do
now,
it.
One of the issues that comes up often that people have to deal with is the issue of culture and how you deal with things across different cultures. Are you finding that ethics really is that different, or is it much more common than people like to think?
Well, we want to think it's different because we want to justify our conduct in other cultures, but I always say to people, find the common ground. And there is common ground because, you know, for example, one of the things I'll say to people is, okay, name me one culture where people will say to you, you know what we really love here? Fraud. We enjoy that. It's part of our culture. It doesn't exist. And so find the common ground. Now, there's some areas where you're going to have some differences, but focus on where you have things in common.
Interesting and great practical advice. Thank you so much for joining us both today, and we look forward to seeing you in Chicago. And hopefully those of you watching will be able to join us in Chicago September 14th through 17th for the Compliance and Ethics Institute. I'm Adam Turtletaub. Have a really good day.